لا فتى إلا ليلا سيف إلا ذو الفقار لا فتى إلا ليلا سيف إلا ذو الفقار
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We reached to hadith tradition number 5 from 110 lessons for life from the commander of the faithful. May God's peace and blessings be upon him. And today our topic which we want to look at is unattainable desires and goals and aspirations for life. Now we know in our lives that all of us have goals and dreams and visions of where we want to be in the future. In fact, even us waking up every day, going to work, going to school, encouraging our children to go to school, doing these daily activities, these in a way are a way of us actually having a hope or a goal for the future, meaning that we go to school, we go through elementary school, through junior high to high school, to college or university, with the hope, with this desire, with this goal in mind to get a good career, to have a good income, to buy a home, to have a family, to go on vacation, to do all of these things. And really our entire life is based upon looking to the future, setting goals, setting expectations for ourselves, and then working towards them. And although there is nothing wrong in and of itself in this area, but in the tradition today we're going to see how the commander of the faithful tackles this question about having these unattainable goals and desires. The tradition from Imam Ali, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, reads as follows. There is not a single individual who harbors long, drawn-out desires for what he wants his future to hold, except that this results in forgetting their eventual death and a contamination in their present actions. So in a nutshell, we see that the commander of the faithful is telling us that individuals who have these long, drawn-out desires, and more specifically here what we're referring to are long, drawn-out desires which are impossible to attain. They are not, an individual is not in the capacity to reach certain goals in his or her life. And yet they still try to pursue this goal within their lives. The Imam is telling us that when you have these sorts of individuals who have these sorts of goals within their lives that are unattainable, he says that there are two calamities that will befall such an individual. The first is that they will forget their eventual death. And not only will they forget their eventual death, that this will also taint the actions which they perform in the life of this transient world. And when we look at it, this is a very understandable reality on many different fronts. Take, for example, an individual who maybe is renting an apartment, and he sees his friends, he sees his people around him, he sees the society around him moving into bigger and larger mansions and palatial homes, and he wishes that he could get to that level. And thinking that if you are on that, in a better state, as they say that people usually think that the grass is greener on the other side. And so such an individual may finally move out of their rental into a small 2-bedroom condominium and then try to move into a larger and much larger home, and they will go on and on and on until they reach what they feel that they are now at the same level as their friends and their circle of acquaintances. Well, this in and of itself may seem like a very worthwhile thing to achieve, because you're progressing, you're moving forward in your life, you're advancing your career. But at the same time, there are many pitfalls that an individual may fall into in such a situation. There are many maybe even sins that they may end up performing by going this route in their lives. And so therefore we have to be careful of how we implement such traditions within our lives and how we look at our future of our lives. And in fact, as the commentator of this hadith has mentioned, he states that in the Arabic language there are two distinct and unique words which refer to actions that take place in the future, or hopes that a person has. One is raja and one is amal. And the difference, he says, is that raja are hopes and aspirations, dreams that we have which are possible to be attained. They're not, pie in the sky. They're not things that we can only wish for and never attain, that can never come within our grasp. And then amal, which is what this hadith is talking about, are those goals, those aspirations we have that are literally impossible for anybody to ever achieve. Or if they are possible, they will be things which a person will have to go through much difficulty to actually attain that particular thing. One of the reasons why the Commander of the Faithful may have stated this tradition, and that we're reflecting upon it today, is the fact that these long drawn desires and aspirations and wishes that we have literally have no end to them. People that go window shopping, people that go online and look at the latest technology, the latest homes on the market, the latest cars that are available, you'll see that they never are satisfied with what they get. And therefore, when those desires continue to increase in an individual and they keep seeing what is more available and what is more, what is coming in the market day after day after day, well, these individuals don't have contentment with what they have, and so they keep continuing to look for more and more happiness in purchasing and having more and more stuff. And this trivial pursuit, this pursuit of what they term or deem to be what will give them happiness in life, will actually not lead them anywhere except to their own eventual destruction and their own eventual downfall within the life of this world. And if they have forgotten of their religious responsibilities, and obviously the life of the next world will also be something which will be far away from their grasp on the day of resurrection. We end with a story which is quoted in the commentary of this hadith, which took place at the time of the noble Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him. In this event, in this story, the Prophet was with a group of his companions, and they were walking through the desert. They were walking in the desert, and the Prophet was thirsty, and so they saw in the distance an individual who was tending some animals. The Prophet gave one of his companions an amount of money and asked him to go to this individual and see if he could purchase some milk. So the companion goes and he says that the Messenger of Allah would like to purchase some milk, and here is the amount of money. For some strange reason, this individual decided he did not want to sell his milk to this companion to give to the Prophet. And so the companion comes back to the Messenger of Allah and he tells him what happened. And the Messenger of Allah raises his hands in supplication and he prays to Allah that Allah gives him excess wealth and that Allah increases in his wealth. They went on in their journey and they come to another area in the desert and they see another individual who is tending a flock of animals. And again the Prophet repeats the same request. He gives the companion some money. He asks him to go and see if he can also procure something to drink from that individual. The companion goes and luckily, fortunately, he is able to purchase something and he takes it back to the Prophet. He takes it to the Prophet, and now the Prophet makes a supplication for this individual, that he asks Allah for that individual's wealth, his sustenance, to be sufficient for him, and that it would be a means of his attainment of his requirements within his life. The companions were shocked because here are two examples. At one example where the Prophet was denied something to drink, the Prophet prayed for his increase in his blessings to have more and more sustenance or wealth. The second one where the individual sells to the Prophet prays that whatever little he has, whatever he has within his disposal is sufficient and that it can take care of his needs and requirements. And the companions asked the Messenger of Allah why he made a different supplication in these two instances. And the Prophet says that the first individual who denied to sell them something to drink, the Prophet prayed for his increase in his sustenance so that this would be actually a form of punishment for him. Because he had probably had these long drawn out desires. Maybe he was hoping to sell the commodity for more. Maybe he was just stingy and miserly. The amount that he was given, it was not to his satisfaction. And so the Prophet made one supplication for him. In the second case, because the person gave out of what he had for the love and for the fulfillment of this request, the Prophet makes a prayer to Allah that whatever this individual has, however much he has, may God make it sufficient and may it be enough for him to take care of his needs and requirements. So we close and we ask the Almighty Creator that we are given the ability to be content with what we have, that we don't try to keep up with the Joneses, that we don't look to have what our brother has or our sister has just for the sake of having it, and that we can be content and we can be happy with what Allah has given us within our lives. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.